Good morning, guys. Friday at 8:30. Got friends of mine all over the planet, and a couple of them called me up from overseas. And I'm going to quote one of my friends. He goes, "Mate, you better start to get yourself some sleep." So I guess we set this up on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, on Fridays, and we play with the lights. And someone who told me recently says, "You can move those lights around any way you want. You can't hide the way you look." So I guess you see in the wear, it's not wear and tear. You know what it is? It's enthusiasm. But the enthusiasm is turning around the clock in your body. So when you're in the world of commodities, which we are, we try to avoid ourselves away from stock exposure. We'll put exposure on to give us exposure in the commodities or the resources that we like. Commodities trade 24 hours. Stocks open at 9:30, they close 4 o'clock. People, they look what's going on, but they don't move. We move 24 hours. So you got to adjust the way your sleep habits, your work habits, and I guess it takes its toll. Okay, I'm not 29 years old no more. I was just 30 last year, so we got to see what it is. But in the interim, the markets are moving. And you want to know something? Every week they're creating more and more opportunities. One that set up last night, which was a great test, was you see how the market turned negative, went red everywhere. And what happened a week ago, last Thursday, that's when silver washed out, gold washed out, Bitcoin washed out, the whole market got nervous. And it was the same setup yesterday on the close. So what did we look for last night? So I was prepared because we had bought silver 2 Thursdays, not yesterday, the Thursday before. If you remember, you follow us, we bought that silver at $65. Well, I still have it. I still think it's going a lot higher. Okay. But in the interim, what did I do last night? I prepared. And the fact that it didn't go down there is just as good as information as if it did go down there. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. This was the price of silver. Okay. Now, if you remember last week, we talked about it. We said this, made a video. If you go back and look at it, we made it on the 11th, let's say a couple of days ago. We said the most bullish thing about silver was this down move. So go look 2 days ago. Now, I was looking for it again to see if it was going to happen, and I was waiting to buy more. That's how I'm not afraid of silver down here. I've been doing this since the mid-'80s. No one's ever seen this happen because it's never happened before. I haven't seen it either, but I've seen this just at a smaller phase, okay, or smaller numbers. So the fact that it didn't go down there makes me even more bullish in silver now. So now I think silver could go. So the position I have on, now they've convinced me that I'm going to hold on to silver at least through February. And next week, you got a lot of things going on that are going to affect the markets. Okay, we're off on Monday. Okay, President's weekend, but it's Chinese New Year. So a big part of these commodities are Chinese consumption. They're consuming commodities. They won't be doing it next week because they're going to be celebrating. So the normal buying underneath at nighttime that's been holding these markets up in the main things have been precious metals. Now you look at the oil markets, you look at copper. Now they won't be there for a week. So the markets are going to be empty. So the markets can be swung around. So you got to adjust the way you trade. You literally went from, say, the right lane to the middle lane. Now you're going to be in the left lane. So if you can drive 30 and if you could drive 55, great. Now can you drive 110? Because that's what's going to wind up happening. And it's only noise. That's the adjustment you got to make. I know how to adjust this because I've been doing this for years. So I'm already in the left lane. But I'm giving everybody a heads up. This is one example. Okay, because that's the wildest, we talked about this. The wildest commodity move in the history of commodities was this move 2 Fridays ago. That's one day. One day, guys. The price of silver. All over the news. Everybody talked about it. That was our edge. Our edge was knowing what parabolic means. So, enough about silver. Gold, platinum, palladium, same thing. We want to buy those dips. And what have we been doing for the last week and a half? By navigating around gold stocks, navigating around silver stocks. Yesterday, we bought some more silver stocks. We sold some gold stocks when they popped earlier in the week. We're going to navigate and buy different ones. Because at this point, you say, I want to buy gold stocks. Well, there's about 15 of them. You want to buy a silver stock, there's probably a dozen of them. You got to know which ones to buy, which ones you can trade, which ones you want to hold on to. I've been doing this for so long, so I kind of have a little bit of maybe of a trading edge because I've experienced in watching them. So we sold some gold stocks because they got to technical spots. They got to points where I think they ran their course because if they breathe. And as they breathe, the ones that I'm looking to buy, I fell into spots. And we did that yesterday. So we have gold stocks, we have silver stocks, platinum stocks. We're looking to get into oil market. Oil market strong all week. Okay, I think you're going into a week now where the big consumer or the industrial user of the oil market is going to have a week off for a holiday. So I don't know if I think it'll cancel out any bullish catalyst here in oil. So what do I think about oil? It might still be in the range. Okay, look, that's a strong week. And the spreads were telling me, spreads were bullish down here. We caught gasoline in some of the oil stocks. But up here, I want to see because I'm seeing if it's setting up like this, or like this. Now it doesn't because it's spent a lot of time here. But I'm keeping in mind that next week, there's not that natural consumer every day. They're taking the week off. Okay, so it can easily pull back. The market's a little bit long because you got the Iran kind of friction. I don't say if it's a crisis, I'd say it's friction. So people want to have war premium. Well, war premium and no war, and then you got a week where there's no demand on pullbacks. Okay, you can easily pull back and shake some people out. So that's what's on my radar screen now. Another thing I like a lot, and I'm waiting for it to work, natural gas. Okay, go right back down to the spot we're looking at. Okay, getting there. Okay, if you remember 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, today's Friday, 2 Fridays ago, we said there was a giant curveball, which I was taught how to look for these. It says a big curveball. We made a video about it and everything. Said natural gas is ready to have a huge move. Look what happened. Cashed out. Now we waited for it to come down. I got right into our areas. We have more areas belong to the group, but we're getting right back into natural gas. I bought some yesterday. I'm going to be looking at other spots to add on more. So if you can make this, avoid this and get this, this is how you navigate around markets like this, because these are extreme moves. So no one's going to catch this and catch this, but if you catch this and get out and avoid this, because if you caught this and you're looking for this, you probably got caught long down. That's the difference. And we still think the markets in energy are navigating. We think the market in metals, now that you had that blow off parabolic top, now you can start navigating that with a stay long view. So what does that mean? You trade with a core long, and then you trade around in additional position. That's what I've been doing with metals since we had that parabolic move 2 weeks ago. So now I'm long silver, long so platinum, palladium, some equities, and I trade around some, but I always got something on. Now that's what I think I'm going to do. Oil, natural gas, the same thing. I'm going to accumulate some natural gas. I'm only telling you what I'm doing. I'm going to accumulate natural gas. The same thing. If you get the bounces, I'll sell pieces out, but I'm still going to have a core long of natural gas. Okay, so I talked about that. One thing we put on, we made a video about this on Monday. Okay, so these are different commodities that I watch. You know, the reason I got these bags on the mask is I get up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to watch these to get a good feel. We put out a clip saying the first time, I remember last time I put out a clip on this, the price of coffee extended to an incredible trading area opportunity. Okay, that was on Monday. The price of coffee was down here. Okay, it's on the 11th. I don't know what's today, 13th, so it's 2 days ago. Okay, on the 11th, we said, guys, this is when you got to buy coffee. It's starting to move already. Okay, our target is probably, for a trade up around here. Now, if you bought the minimum you could buy in a coffee futures contract, just one contract. Okay, you probably got to put up, I don't know, it depends on who you use. I'd say you got to put up about 10 grand of margin for one contract. You already made 50% on your money. I actually think you got a shot to make 100% by the middle of next week. 100% on your money. I don't know any stocks out there that are doubling. That's the use of leverage, the use of opportunity. The clip is there. We think this thing is going to go higher. That's one of them. We made a clip about silver. Same thing. We think silver should have went down and didn't. In my opinion, that's better information between this, between this happening and this not happening, gave me confidence that silver is going to go higher. Okay, because sometimes you want to see information, and sometimes you don't want to see the information. Okay, you don't want to see these things happen. That was a good example. Okay, talked about those. We'll go over some other ones. But let's get some questions out of it.
Okay, Joe. By the way, the folks on TikTok, they say you look fine.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you got to see. We're playing around with the lights for the last 5 minutes. I think the only thing that works is we got when we put it on mute. I think we got to put the face on mute.
Well, you're getting it from YouTube too. They said you look fine. Yeah, so, and by the way, one of the YouTube viewers wanted to let you know, knowing that you're live right now, the CPI was 2.4.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Eaglehorn wants to talk. Well, can we talk about the yen first, Joe?
The yen. Now, the yen we have on, okay, and when we mentioned, if you belong to the group, you know our strategy, okay? Our strategy, if we have strategies, I think it's privy to the group, not onto the social media here. And I'm going to tell you what my opinion here is. I'm long yen, okay? I'm not looking to trade yen. I think there is a transition going on. I think the market is repricing, and I think the yen is going to be the leader here. So I have this on. You know, I got in, I think, around here somewhere. You know, down here, I was going to add, but I want to be confident. But I'm not looking to any spots on the upside. I'm holding the yen for a while. I think the yen, I think the dollar's, it's been repricing for a year. You can see it's losing its value. So I got to find out what the currency is that can be most sensitive. I think it's the yen, but I'm holding the yen.
So Tony is asking paper versus physical silver. What do I do?
Yes. Okay. This is what's giving me the edge because I don't think people understand this. I'm going to say this, and I'm not saying it arrogant. I've been doing this longer than pretty much anybody around. Okay. Very few people can say they traded silver in the mid 80s and been trading it constantly for 40 something years. 40 years. Okay. I understand the physical market. I understand the plumbing of silver. My phone calls from around the planet, you know what the phone calls are after making fun of me is they want to know my silver opinion because I've been in the middle of it. The physical side of silver is telling us incredible information. And what's going to happen in the next, say, 30 days is going to be another big piece of the silver view, the plumbing of silver. And the physical side is going to tell us because I still think silver is sixth inning, seventh inning at best. And I still think silver has got a large upside. And the physical side tells me a lot.
Okay, Joe. Jasper on TikTok is asking about rices. I'm assuming he means grains.
Grains. We like grains. You know, grains have been on our radar for about 3 weeks now, and they're starting to go. Okay, we have them on. We traded around our soybeans. Okay, if you followed us, hang on, I do this. Okay, if you followed us, we made a video about soybeans down here. We literally made a video. Said soybeans are the first one that should go. President made a little announcement that him and China, they might have made a short-term agreement. It exposed it. Look what happened to soybeans. We caught this. We're out of beans now. But in the interim, I think the grain markets were overall mispriced. And if the dollar is going to move like we think, they're going to get noticed. So we caught the beans, but what it did, it put everything else on my radar screen. So what's on my radar screen? And I have it on wheat. We have Kansas City wheat on, starting to move. We have Chicago wheat on. Put that, maybe I'm a little too fast on this. Starting to move. Corn. Okay, this should be the last one to go. But we have corn on too. They're starting to move. So I like the grain markets. I like the grain markets right here. In the interim, there's ways to play equities. There's no way to get good grain exposure by buying the ETFs wheat, or you're not going to get the exposure. There's no leverage. So we look for alternative ways or peripheral ways. We look at food processors, which is Archer Daniels or Bunge, or we look at fertilizer. Okay, so Archer Daniels and Bunge, these are ones that we think are different ways to get exposure to grains. Well, you tell me. That's Bunge. What do you think? This is all the beginning of the year. Archer Daniels, the same chart. What are we in? We're in Mosaic. Okay, we're in the fertilizer side. Okay, because I think it's compressed a little too much down here. You see MOS anywhere? Oh, right here. Okay. So we think this one is going to go. And you can see it's starting to go. I think there's a lot more in this. Okay, this is a nice move right here. We traded this twice already this year. We bought it the first day of the year here. We sold it out here. And then we put twice the position on now. With this to here, I'm twice as long now. I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm twice as long now because I bought it here, bought it here, bought it here, bought it here. So I think I'm twice as long because I think this one has got room on the upside. So that's a way of us getting grain exposure, in my opinion, is fertilizer.
All right. Excellent, Joe. Turo is asking about gasoline and crude oil.
Yeah, those are the ones if I'm looking to buy, I'm always looking to buy gasoline lately because it tells me I think I got my pulse on gasoline. Okay, it's been working for me for such a long. I could read the future spreads. Oil, I think you got to worry about here. Like I said, I just made kind of the analogy, not the analogy, just my opinion that the market needs a catalyst to go higher from here, and you're going into a week where the normal fundamental demand might have a week off. So I'm a little curious around here with oil. If it fails, it wouldn't surprise me. If it goes higher, it's going to need two catalysts to go higher, not one. So right now, if I had oil on, I would be looking to trim.
All right. So Chicken Man wants to know about OJ.
OJ, Guy.
Don't do it.
Guy Adami's famous line. Someone asked about OJ. We have a live webinar with Guy Adami once a week. A guy from CNBC. He's seriously, he should be on one of these shows. When they take these guys off, and Colbert and all these guys should be doing these shows. He is naturally funny. Someone asked, what do you think about OJ? Guy goes, I think he did it. Funniest man I know. No, I have a lot of funny men, but seriously, the OJ market, I understood why this went down. I'm long some OJ. Okay, this went down for a reason that I understand. Okay, because I've been involved in every commodity futures books. Okay, and there was an announcement made that Minute Maid is getting out of the frozen concentrated orange juice. Remember those things used to come into tubes? Used to look something like, I don't know, something like this, and you add water. Well, they're going to discontinue that. And they may have, I think they sold maybe one of those in the last 5 years. One. Okay, but what it does, it takes hedges off, and that's what caused this down move. That made sense. Now it gets to an area where it's probably a little bit of attractive. I'm in no rush, but I bought a piece of orange juice, okay, and I think it can hold, but I'm not married to this. I want to see if it reacts. If it reacts, then there's probably upside to it.
Joe, Too Much on YouTube has a good question. Do you teach how you trade and why?
Do I teach how I trade? No, I'm going to be, I'm always straight up with you guys. I had the best teachers on the planet in my career. You think about it, I was at JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, in my opinion, the #1 place on this planet. Okay, and every person you say good morning to is 10 times smarter than you. And that includes the people that are walking around with a broom in their hand. Okay, I'm dead serious. So I had the best teachers. So for me to teach someone, it's impossible because it took me so many years to learn from the best teachers. But I tell you one thing, what they taught me, the little nuances, they clear as day now. Okay, and I couldn't explain it because it wouldn't take hours. It would take days or weeks to explain it.
Okay, so Joe, I pass by these things all the time, but I just want to give you a little motivator. The folks on TikTok who watch you every week, they're coming in and they're just letting people know, here's some of the comments. RNTR is a game changer. Joe knows what he's doing. Joe is the king of commodities.
Experience, guys. That's all it is. No king. There's no king.
So
you want to know how you become a king? Every one of these commodities, I've lost so much money doing this stuff in my career. So you learn from losing. You say, what did I do wrong? That's always what I do. We used to always say, you got to scrub the trade, okay, and find out what you did wrong, what you missed. And that's what I do when I put on a trade. I look for 3 or 4 things what can go wrong, 3 or 4 things that can go right. So when they happen, I don't get emotionally involved. I've lost so much money, fell in so many traps. Now I try to make money and don't fall in the trap. That's all it is. It's experience, guys. That's all it is.
Well, it is, but a lot of us out here are impressed by it, Joe. So a lot of folks, they're sending how it is, the hearts, the thumbs up, the muscles. Okay.
But don't make it sound special. There's no magic act.
I'm just letting you know, folks love your videos and your live streams and everything. Okay, back to business.
Yes.
Joe, can you talk about Ford?
Yeah, it's holding well. We used to trade this all the time. Okay, we used to buy it and sell calls. So the calls used to be too overpriced for Ford, a stock that never moved. So we used to sit there and make 25 to 35% a year selling covered calls. Now I don't know. We did that when it used to be down around here, and we used to sell calls every time it popped and just get paid. Now see what it's doing here. Well, I do watch it. What it's doing here and what it's doing here. Now it's doing it up here. So it's kind of recalibrating. It's kind of what gold is doing. So it might sit around here for a long time. I guess it goes higher, but not enough for me to put my money on the line. But think about this. Doesn't this look like this, especially this too? And that's what the gold chart looks like too.
So Mike N is asking, sorry, I flipped my screen here, Joe.
Okay.
Mike is asking about Amazon.
Now, we look at the big names. We don't trade them, but I do watch them. And yesterday, Amazon went to a beautiful spot. If I was a trader for a trade, I'd be buying Amazon here for a trade, but I'm not buying it. I'm telling you right now, I'm not.
Joe, you are going to love this one. Someone on YouTube says that they're comparing sports gambling to trading and saying, do you think it's a lower, damn it.
Risk reward trade or something?
Yeah. Sports betting is superior to trading in terms of risk to reward ratio. What are your thoughts on this statement, comparing sports betting to trading?
Jeez, I've had a little bit of sports betting experience in my life. A lot more than you think. Okay, and dead serious, you are 100% right. Okay, the problem is sports betting, there's too much commission. Okay, you don't realize you're paying too much VIG. Here, you're not paying VIG. But anytime you put your money on the line, there should always be a risk-reward strategy. Am I going to risk $1 to make $2? Am I going to risk $1 to make $3? Am I going to risk $1 to make $1? Okay, that's what you got to put together. But definitely that experience will help here, especially commodities, not stocks. Stocks, well, you put them to you. Everybody's hypnotized thinking you buy stocks, they always go up. It's great until it doesn't work.
Right. Well, that's a great, Master Hound. That was a great question on YouTube. So over on TikTok, they're asking about what metal stocks can we get in for silver and gold.
Yes. Okay, we've been doing this. Okay, we've been navigating around in the last few days. I look at what we sold over the last week in gold and silver stocks, and now they all look like great sales. Okay, when you do them, you say, oh, why am I selling this? It's going higher. It goes higher, and then it turns, it goes down, and then the last couple of days we've been buying gold and silver stocks. So I have a few with the group, and they're falling right into the spots. So I do have a couple of them that I'm watching here. Okay, gold and silver stocks, and we bought one yesterday, and we're going to buy one or two more today that we like that because they're going to fall. They're at the spots. We're going to buy them.
All right.
But that belongs to the group, guys.
Joe, can you do NVIDIA?
NVIDIA. Yeah, I only watch it. Okay, and actually, I know that's on my list. It's a list to watch. Believe me, it's not on a list to trade. Yeah. You know what's on my list for? But I don't do it. To get short. Okay, it's on my list to get short NVIDIA. Okay, I won't do it because there was so many signals for all these crazy moves in NVIDIA that worked in everything except NVIDIA. So I put up the white flag. I said, I'm not putting my money on the line in NVIDIA. I think I caught it once and then I was wrong 3 times trying to go short. But everything that I've seen over the last 24 hours makes me bearish NVIDIA.
Excellent. So MS is asking about sugar.
Sugar, we said was a waiting process. And I think the waiting process was getting the March contract off the board, which doesn't happen for another week or two. But I do think sugar is putting in a big bottom, and big bottom means the bounce is going to be bigger than I thought. Okay, this is what I like about sugar. Okay, now beginning of the month, everybody was all around here, and it sat. We said it goes down here, and it's got to digest because it was some pretty decent buying. And then the trade is not if it bounces here to trade it. The trade is if it bounces here, it's got room. Okay, so give it a chance. I'll have it on, and I have it on up here. I don't have it on down here. Okay, so I'm waiting for that digestion that happened at the beginning of the month in the reweighting of the indexes. And I think when it does take effect, sugar's got a big move coming.
All right, Joe. Bitchu wants to know about Uber.
Uber. Now, this is something we put on. I made a video about it, and then you know what happened? Whatever the less Uber I seen, it should have ran me over. Would have did me a favor. I would have given the guy a big tip for running me over. Okay, this was a perfect setup, and it didn't work. Now you had Lyft earnings come out, which didn't help the matter. But we put out a video right here where we bought stock and we bought calls, and I very rarely do both. Okay, and it's not working. Okay, but one thing I did notice, I noticed it yesterday. So if Uber is going to bounce, it's got to bounce today and early next week. If it doesn't, then I'm wrong, which I am wrong right now. Okay, because I thought right here was the bottom. I didn't think we were going to even come close to this. Then you had a Lyft come out, and this thing broke down a little bit, and now it's got to retrace. It's got to get back above here, and it can't take a week. It's got to take a couple of days, otherwise I'm wrong. Now the calls are fine. We found something that they weren't cheap. They were maybe just decently priced. So we spent 60 cents on some calls, which, those are lottery tickets. I don't pay attention, but I'm long some stock. But I'm paying attention to today, and I'm paying attention to Tuesday in Uber.
So, Joe, you just said something that's sort of a magic word in this business. I never hear it. You said you were wrong.
Sure. I said it was wrong.
I see other
people next to me all day.
I see other people who, who are online talking about stocks and trading and, all those bars and all those terms that they use.
Yeah.
And they're never wrong, apparently.
Well, good for them. I'm sure that when they're talking, they must be looking in the mirror because no one's going to listen to that. You got to be kidding me. If you don't think you're going to lose money, you're in the wrong business. And first of all, if you don't think you're going to lose money and you make it sound like you're always making money, I'm trying to be a gentleman, but you're so full of it.
All right.
I lose money all the time. Okay, and I'm actually an expert in losing money. Okay, but you learn from it, and then when you're right, you should be making more than when you lose.
So it's also money management.
It's money management, huge.
I see. Mr. Buckley would like to know about Rivian.
Rivian, no, I don't follow it anymore. I used to watch it. I don't follow it anymore.
Okay, Jurgen's asking about corn.
Corn's one of the grains that we like a lot, but it's the last one we like. Okay, I think I'm lonesome corn. I think the corn market, if we're right about all the grains and this one's got room, but you can see corn, it lags until something's going on. Okay, this is so efficient part of it. This is the efficient grain. Okay, you really got to do some damage to make it go higher, whether it's weather or drought. Demand is pretty much is calculated in. People aren't going to come out of nowhere and start eating corn. First of all, people don't eat corn. Okay, 90% of the corn produced on this planet is fed into animals. So you could go eat all the corn on the cob you want, think it's going to go higher. It's not going to go higher. Okay, so this is the last one of the grains, but we are bullish. So if we're bullish the grain sector, then it also means that we're okay on pullbacks, and that's when I'll be looking. I have corn on, but I don't have a full position, but I will buy pullbacks. Okay, but this is the last one I'm going to put on for my grain exposure.
Joe, can you take a step back for a second? Did you just say that the corn commodity that we're trading here is not corn that we eat in the supermarket?
You think if you walk into a restaurant, you see everybody eating corn, and eating a corn cob, and corn's going to go up. Forget about it, guys. 90% of the corn on this planet is fed to animals. It's a different kind of corn. First of all, it's not the same corn that we eat. Okay, it's called dented corn. It's fed to animals, so it's feed.
Is that the same thing that they would use to make the ethanol?
That you can use it any kind of corn. Yeah, yes, you can. But that's a portion. It's not as dominant as it used to be because it's priced in there.
Interesting. Okay. So, Joe, folks on YouTube, I've had several in the last couple of days. Again, I don't want to use foul language, but they're saying this guy's full of it.
Good.
And so what I wanted to do, if you don't mind, can we just take a look at your logbooks and see what you've been trading?
I just wonder
I don't want to say the word, Joe. You know me. I'm a gentleman.
Good. Well, if you're going to say full of it, I might as well finish the sentence.
All right, you're full of shit. How's that?
Back it up. Just back it up. That's all. I got no problem. Believe me, I'd be saying the same thing.
That's what these guys are saying on YouTube, on your YouTube clips.
Good. I want them to say, okay, just as ballpark. This is last year. Okay? I wasn't going to put this up. Are you going to play games? Okay. That's how much we were up last year. 344%. Every trade is there. Every trade is open and closed. That's where we wound up for the year.
What are we looking at here, Joe?
This is my trade log from last year. And you know what? There's probably 1,000 people who have the same trade log. Okay, so it's all there, all documented, all transparent. That's last year, ancient history. This year, how do I do this? This year. Okay, a lot of people are getting banged around. People had a nice January. February's been like a splash in the face. They're probably down for the year. We're not down for the year. We're up for the year. We're not up 50%. We're up less than that. Okay, those are just trades that are closed. We're up for the year. So if you want to tell me I'm full of it or whatever, everything is here. Tell me where I am. All I ask you to do is if you're going to say it, just back it up. Ask me any question you want.
Well, unfortunately, these were comments on some of the videos you posted recently.
Okay.
And the answers were, if you think he's full of it, so it was particularly on the soybean trade.
Yeah.
You bought it way down in the 1050 range or something. You had a video. And so the comment, the reply had to be, go back and check the video from 4 days ago when Joe said, I'm buying soybeans. And then it jumped.
It's not the after the fact. Why would I do that?
I know, Joe.
I appreciate you trying. But, if you're going to say it, just back it up. And I'm believe me, you have a question that's going to catch me. I want to know what it is because you don't see me saying, I'll only answer this, I'll only answer that. I'll answer anything you want.
All right. So before we get into some of the other questions, Joe, how do we get to your website? How do I get to this trade log?
All right. Let's see. Remember, right?
Yep.
If you want to join, guys, RNTR.trading. Okay, that's what it stands for. Risk of not taking risk. Okay, doing this for years now. This is not a fly-by-night site here. Okay, you join here. We get back to you. Okay, there's no a lot of copycats, a lot of clowns lately. You contact us. You want to join. You don't send us any money. Then we get back to you with a link, with a mail, and with an invite to our Discord chat. And that's when, if you want to join monthly, biannually, that's what you get. Okay, it comes with Discord chat, comes with everything. Okay, so there's no other way. We don't trade crypto. People, a lot of the copycats say we're day traders, we're swing traders, we're not none of those. We're directional traders. Okay, we don't get involved. We don't ask you for money. A lot of people are saying, oh, they want me to they're telling you to send me money. We don't do that. So that's not us. You see that? Hit delete. Get away from these people. This is the way we do this. Very clear as day. Very transparent. No fooling around. We got a team behind us. Everything is very, very user friendly. If you want to join.
Okay, so if I go on to RNTR.trading and say I want to sign up for a monthly membership, I pay my 98 bucks, whatever. You take credit cards, PayPal, that
Yeah,
type
all
of
that
thing?
stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So then once I become a member, what happens next?
Okay. Then you're going to get invited to a Discord chat, which we have all day.
Okay.
Day and night. This is just this morning. Okay. We have all different channels. Okay. This is kind of my comment because I have strong opinions. We talked about fertilizer. You asked me about Uber. Okay. Talked about what we're looking at as far as for the weekend coming up. Everything I talked about, we happen to be talking about this all day. I'm giving ideas. Okay. When we trade, we let you know when we're trading. You want to know something? I'm going to tell you something we did this morning. Okay. We traded this morning. Let me put this up. Trade alert. Futures alert. Sorry. We trade futures. Okay. 6:07 this morning. You got to get up in the morning. What do? We launched some March coffee futures. We sold out our coffee position. Okay. We tell you exactly what we're doing. So if you want to trade futures, you may have to get up. That's why you're going to look like this. If you want to know something, you can always make some money. We made some nice money. Okay. We had a coffee position. We see it. If it gets to our spot and it happens to be 4 o'clock in the morning or 6 o'clock in the morning, we wake people up. We send them the alert. When we trade during the day or any other time,
So
we just give a trade.
hang on, Joe. Can you put that futures alert up again, please?
There you go.
So I want you to walk me through this here because now this is obviously where the rubber hits the road.
Yeah.
I sign up for a membership. I pay my 98 bucks, and then I get access to this special Discord channel.
Right.
And then at 6 o'clock, if I was a member, go back to the 6 o'clock, the coffee thing there.
6:07 this morning.
So at 6:07 this morning,
You get an alert.
I would have gotten an alert on my phone that said you are selling your March coffee. Doesn't mean that I got to do
All
it.
I'm telling you is what I'm doing.
But that's
Looking
what you're
over
doing.
my shoulder.
So you sold it at the 308.30
Yeah,
area.
tells you where it is at the moment when I sell it.
So can you flip back to the charts and show us where coffee is right now? Even though I know we looked at it before, I just want to match it up to see like what this would look like.
So this is coffee right here. That's what we sold. Okay, and you know what? This is a daily chart. If you go back to a minute chart, you know when you see this spot right here? I'm willing to bet. I know. That's 6:07 this morning. We sold it up there. It got to one of our spots, one of our targets, and we sold it. And now it's come off since.
Wow.
So, you know, if the spot is there, what's the difference what time it is? That's exactly it. You want to go to the chart, there it is.
So I just wanted to tie those two things together. Yeah. You're on Discord telling me what you did, and there's the chart showing it what it looked like at 6:03 or 6:00.
Look at that time. Look at the time frame. So I'm not going to make it up. Come on.
Well, yeah, a lot of people do think you're making it up.
Well, how am I making it up?
I know.
The time is right there.
Well, that's why we like to show these things.
Okay,
I think that's awesome.
We bought silver last Thursday night, and people say, yeah. Okay, we told people we're buying silver. Well, let me see if I should be on Discord too, right?
Absolutely.
Then I got to go all the way back. It'll take a while.
Yeah, scrolling way back would be too long.
I bought silver last Thursday night at 7:20 or 7:20. 7:20. Remember, right?
I helped you make the video.
Okay, we made the video. We bought silver at 7:20 p.m. New York time last Thursday night. You know when we bought it? Right here. We were waiting for $65. It got down to like 64 and change. Okay, we still have it on. Okay, the clip is there. Everything is there. If you got an alert, say, guys, I'm buying silver right here. I waited the whole day for the second extension, so I got it, and I still got it. And I told you last night I was looking to buy more, and the fact that we didn't get it was a better piece of information than if I did get it. So now I'm really bullish silver.
So Joe, just leave that silver chart up there for a second. On YouTube and Instagram and Twitter, you have a video posted that says you bought, and we actually show your Discord message at 7:10 p.m. saying, hey folks, or 7:20 p.m. saying, hey folks, I'm getting in silver here at the 65.30 area. Yeah. And here we are looking at the chart. That was that little scribble down there.
I haven't sold it since because I thought it was going to go straight up, and then when we got the whole market go red yesterday, I said this is even better test because if you go down here, I'm gonna buy it again. The fact that we couldn't even get down there makes me really bullish now. Now I'm really going to hold on to this till the end of February. I mean, I was anyway, but I might even be adding on a pullback now. That's how bullish I thought last night. Pulling back was actually almost as bullish as the spot when we bought it last Thursday.
Excellent, Joe. I think that's going to help people to see how these things tie together.
It's just experience, guys. That's all it is.
Absolutely. Very, very good. All right, Joe, we have a few minutes left. Would you mind talking about SBSW?
SBSW, that was our home run trade twice last year. Okay, we had it on for a third time, made money again. This is one that's on my radar for a pullback. Okay, if you remember, we had this on. We were all in, cashed, all in again, cashed, halfway in, cashed. We didn't have any of this. Okay, now we're waiting for a pullback. I have spots. I love this platinum and palladium stock. This is a way of getting some platinum. And there aren't too many out there, but this is probably, in my opinion, the best one out there if you want to get exposure. We had another one that we put on this week as a group. It was a real lottery ticket. Okay, so if you belong to the group, you know the one we're talking about. But this is one, if we get this, think about it. I don't have it on now. I'm waiting to get to I have areas where I'm looking to put this right back on. I love this stock, the way it gives you a chance to trade it.
Joe, don't put that away. Because as you were doing the circles here and said you were in.
Yeah.
How long, like way back here on the chart, what are we talking about? Is this years ago, months ago?
Oh, okay. Well, you want to know something? I could go to show you exactly what we did. Yes, I can do this, right? Okay, I could go back to the trade log. Right, I could do that, I think, right?
Maybe.
Okay. Trade log from last year. Okay, we're going back again. SBSW. How do I do this? There it is. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to come over your other side here, Joe.
Yeah, okay. Let me make this clean for you. This is SBSW. This is last year.
So this is trade number 14.
Oh, yeah, beginning of the year.
Stillwater.
We did the first couple of days of the year last year. We held it for 7 months. Another one we held for the entire year. I'm going to open this thing up as usual. My fingers are horrible. Okay, but you can see you're buying something at $3. You're selling it at $9. I'm not making it up. We went all in down there. Sell it at $9. Tripled your money. Just you got to wait. What's the difference? Some of them are a couple of weeks. Some of them are 6 months. Some of them, one of those trades, somewhere down there, we held it on. We bought it the first day of the year. We sold it the last day of the year. That's how much of a home run it was.
Wow. So you bought SBSW 339. You sold it at 9 something.
9 change. That's the beginning of the year. We traded many other times beside that. I'm just going to the example how long we hold trades.
Wow. So you're not an investor leaving it in there forever.
No. This is one we had a strong opinion that platinum and palladium were too cheap, and this was very few ways to get at that kind of exposure. This was in my opinion, one of the best ways. And so think about it, $3. Now where are we? We'll go back to here. Okay, SBSW, $3. Where's SBSW now? $16.
Right.
Say what you want. I'm talking about 1 year later, year and change.
Wow. That's a nice little trade there.
Well, that was more of a way of riding something for a while. We held that all year. We have some of that position on for the entire 12 months of the year.
Okay, so the answer to Ben Klassen, who's asking, how did you find these long-term stocks?
I do my homework.
Right. Joe does his homework.
People sit there and they go, I want to buy an oil stock. What do you mean you want to buy an oil stock? There's 20 of them. I want to buy a gold stock. There's 20 of those. Do you want to buy a miner? Do you want to buy a refiner? Do you want to buy one that's financed? Do you want to find one that's intrinsic? I do my homework. I was taught how. I was taught how to do this, and I do my own research.
Well, and I guess really, Joe, for any viewer that's going to ask a question, Joe, how do you do X, Y, Z? Just count the rings under your eyes, right? You're like a tree. Yeah, how many rings do you have under the bags in your eyes? Because you do your research.
With no roots.
With no roots. All right, fair enough. Joe, it is getting late. We got to get out of here. People love your videos. They love the live streams. They love everything you're doing. The hearts are flying. The thumbs up are flying.
Good. You gotta make money.
When are we going to see you next?
Okay, we're back here tomorrow at 10:30. Saturdays are big. It's usually a longer show. Okay, the audience is huge, and it's getting larger and larger. These midweek audiences are getting larger and larger. So I guess people, you know what? Silver's the murmur word of the planet. Okay, if you think about it, silver's been all over. Okay, no matter where you are. For my edge is seriously, silver is my baby. Okay, I got 3 daughters. That's my baby. I've been doing it since the mid '80s. So I watch everything that goes on in silver. People trying to figure out. People think they're experts, and what they talk about, they are experts. But they're talking about 20-25% of the silver market. They have no clue what's going on with the other 70-80% of the silver market. The plumbing, the physical side, the positions. This is something I've been exposed to. It's something I've been teaching for years. That's why we're getting these audiences. So we'll be here tomorrow, and we're going to talk about it again. I think silver is going to make the whole precious metals market be incredible for the next year or 2 years while it's repricing into where it should be. Okay? I'll see you tomorrow, 10:30.
Awesome, Joe. We will see you tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern on TikTok, on YouTube, and on Twitter. Yeah. For X, formerly known as Twitter. And by the way, to everyone in the chats on both YouTube, Twitter, X, TikTok, thank you so much for all of your kind comments.
Thank you.
I couldn't read all the words to Joe, but we really appreciate what you're saying out there. Thank you very
You
much.
got to watch yourself. Okay? I know I say this a lot. You got to watch yourself. Okay? The market's going into a 3-day weekend. The market's going into an empty part of the world next week. So you got to adjust the way you trade. That's what we're going to be doing today, preparing for next week. Watch yourself. I'll see you tomorrow at 10:30.
Thank you, Joe.